So let's just jump right in. If you've ever left a job, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That envelope shows up in the mail with your old company's logo on it, and inside is a letter about your 401k. All of a sudden, you've got this big financial decision to make. And look, what you do next can seriously impact your retirement for years, even decades. So, let's make sure we get it right. It really does feel like you're standing at a fork in the road, right? You've got this pot of money you worked really hard for, and now you have to figure out where its new home is going to be. And I get it, that can feel a little overwhelming. But the good news is you've got some really clear, really powerful options. When you boil it all down, there are really 4 main smart paths you can take with that old 401k. Each one is designed for a totally different goal, and each has its own pros and cons. So let's just walk through them one by one, and you can see which one feels like the best fit for you.
All right, first up, we've got the path of simplicity. This is probably the most straightforward choice. You just move the money from your old 401k directly into your new company's plan. Think of it as the all-in-one-place option.
Now, what's great about this is the convenience. Everything's in one account, it's super easy to keep track of, and you might still be able to take out a 401k loan if you need to. But here's the trade-off. You give up control, you're stuck with whatever investment options and fees your new company offers, and they might not be the best. This is really for the person who just wants maximum simplicity, no fuss.
Okay, let's look at path number 2. This one is all about you taking the driver's seat. You can roll your 401k funds into what's called a traditional individual retirement account, or an IRA. This is the move you make when you want more control over your money.
And you can see that shift right here, from simplicity to freedom. With an IRA, the investment world is basically your oyster. You have way more choices, stocks, bonds, funds, you name it, and often with lower fees. The catch? Well, with all that freedom comes responsibility. You are now the one in charge. So this path is perfect if you're comfortable making your own investment decisions and you really want that flexibility.
Our third path is for the strategists out there. It's a pretty savvy tax move. This is where you convert your pre-tax 401k money into a post-tax Roth IRA. It's all about playing the long game with your taxes.
So here's the deal. You choose to pay the income tax on your retirement savings today, at whatever your tax rate is right now. Why would you do that? Because in exchange, every single dollar you take out in retirement is 100% tax-free. It's an amazing strategy if you think you'll be earning more and be in a higher tax bracket later in life. The big hurdle, of course, is you've got to have the cash on hand to pay that tax bill right now.
And our final path is for anyone whose number one goal is a guarantee. You can roll your 401k into an annuity, which is basically an insurance contract that promises you a steady, predictable income stream.
Now, this option is really different from the others. You're trading the potential for big market growth for total peace of mind. An annuity can give you a guaranteed paycheck for life, which protects you from those wild stock market swings. The flip side is your money is a lot less accessible and the fees can be more complicated. This is often a move for folks who are getting close to retirement and just want to know for sure that the bills will get paid no matter what.
Okay, so we've gone through the 4 smart paths, but there is a 5th option we have to talk about. And it's not really a path, it's more like a dangerous detour. I'm talking about that temptation to just cash it all out. Let me be absolutely crystal clear about this. Cashing out your 401k should only be considered an absolute last resort. I'm talking about a true, dire financial emergency. The penalties are just brutal, and the long-term damage to your retirement is, well, it's often permanent. The very first hit you'll take right off the top, if you're under age 59 and a half, is this, a 10% early withdrawal penalty from the IRS. Gone. Poof. But believe me, the pain does not stop there.
On top of that 10% penalty, the entire amount you pull out is taxed as regular income. That alone could easily push you into a higher tax bracket for the year. But the real tragedy here, the cost you can never get back, is losing all that future growth. Cashing out just $20,000 when you're 35 could mean you've thrown away over $150,000 by the time you retire. That's the devastating power of lost compounding. It's just gone forever.
All right, let's take a breath. Let's bring it all back together and focus on making a great decision. Now that you know the options and the big trap to avoid, how do you actually choose the right path for you?
It really just comes down to asking yourself one simple question. What is my number one priority?
If you just want to set it and forget it, your new 401k is probably the answer. If you crave control and more options, it's the traditional IRA. If you're thinking about future tax savings, it's the Roth. And if you want a guaranteed paycheck for life, you look at an annuity. It's that simple.
Okay, so knowing your destination is one thing. Knowing how to actually get there without hitting any potholes is another. So let's quickly cover the absolute must-know rules of the road for making your rollover happen smoothly.
Pay close attention, because this is probably the single most important rule to remember. There are two ways to do this, a direct rollover and an indirect rollover. A direct rollover is seamless. The money goes straight from your old plan to your new one. You never even touch it. It is simple, safe, and it's what you should do. An indirect rollover, where they send the check to you, well, that just opens up a whole world of potential problems.
And here is the biggest landmine with an indirect rollover. The moment you get that check, a 60-day countdown starts. You have exactly 60 days to get that money into a new retirement account. If you miss that deadline by even one day, the entire amount is treated as a cash out, and you get hit with all those awful taxes and penalties we just talked about.
And if that wasn't bad enough, here's the other major headache. With an indirect rollover, your old plan is required by law to withhold 20% for taxes. So if you're rolling over $100,000, they only send you a check for $80,000. But to avoid penalties, you have to deposit the full $100,000. That means you have to come up with $20,000 from your own pocket. A direct rollover, on the other hand, avoids this entire mess.
So how do you make sure this whole process is a smooth ride? Just follow these 4 easy steps. 1. Figure out where the money's going. 2. Call up your old 401k provider and get the ball rolling. 3. And this is the most important part, use these magic words. I want to do a direct rollover. And 4. Just give them the account details for where it's going. That's it. It's clean, simple, and completely tax and penalty free.
You know, at the end of the day, dealing with an old 401k isn't just some chore on your to-do list. It's really a chance to take active, deliberate control of your financial future. You know the paths, you know the rules, and you definitely know the traps to avoid. So the only real question left is, which one of these next steps is the right one to take you where you want to go?